Start here, Star Citizen. Welcome to a new player tutorial and quick start guide for returning players for Star Citizen Alpha 3.15. From getting your ship, to completing your first mission, the new medical and inventory mechanics, to interacting with the world and buying things, you'll be able to start the game knowing the basics. All you need to do to get started is a Star Citizen account, which you can get via the Enlist link down below, and game package. You can obtain everything in-game, so just one of the basic starter packs is a good idea, with the cheapest options being the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora MR. You can upgrade your purchase at a later date if you want, and hopefully you won't be in your starter ship for very long before getting something else in-game anyway. We will be using the Aurora MR for our tutorial. Grab the launcher and download the game. I highly recommend you install it to an SSD or an NVMe drive, as this will help reduce loading times. Once you're in-game, from the main menu, select Persistent Universe, then create your character. You can edit this later. We will have to choose what planet to make our home in the Stanton system. We're going to choose New Babbage on Microtech, which is what we recommend you choose too. You will respawn here by default, and all of your starting ships and gear will be here in the local inventory. This is shared with the space station above your landing zone, Port Tressler in this case. Press and hold Y to get out of bed. This will get you out of any seating such as cockpits or chairs. WASD moves you around. Space jumps. Open the door by tapping F for a quick action, or you can choose to hold F to see nearby objects you can interact with and their options, and then left click to interact with them. You may want to close your HUD chat by pressing F12, but you can chat with other players by pressing enter. Once outside your hab, walk over to the elevator, interact with it, and once inside, select the lobby. If a panel has more options than can be displayed, you can mouse wheel down to move through the options. You can also access your personal inner thought or pit menu by holding F and then right clicking. This gives you quick access to certain actions which are context specific, so they're different when you're on foot or in a pilot seat. These actions include emotes, helmet removal, and more. While on foot, you can also use the mouse wheel to change your movement speed, so wheel up to go faster, wheel down to go slower, and you can use shift to run. You can interact with your personal and local inventory by pressing I. Here, you can move items from your local storage to your character and vice versa. If you are on a ship, you can access the ship's local inventory in the same way. Your local storage on Microtech is entirely different from your local storage on Hurston, so take with you what you want on your ship or your character before leaving the zone. You can also equip items onto your character by dragging them onto the appropriate attachment points. You'll need to have a flight suit and armor to equip certain items. Generally, the heavier the armor, the more items you can equip and store. You can purchase backpacks for even more storage. Landing zones have a variety of shops for you to purchase different types of gear from. We're going to travel to the spaceport to spawn your ship. From the lobby, make your way down the stairs towards the metro center and trains there. You'll notice a hospital entrance in between the two staircases. This is where you'll respawn if you die, and you'll also be able to purchase medical equipment and treatment here too. Take the train to the spaceport, take the elevator to the NBIS, and travel to the main lobby. Find the hangar area and approach the ASOP or ship spawn terminals. Interact with one of them to select your ship and spawn it. Once retrieved, the console will show you where your ship has been spawned. Your ship will also be shown on your HUD, including location if you forget. Head over to the nearby elevators. These will take you to the appropriate area. Approach your ship and locate where the entry door or ladder is. Interact with the relevant area marked on your ship and enter the cockpit. Once you're in the pilot seat, you can flight ready your ship by pressing R or by interacting and finding the appropriate button. You'll also want to request a takeoff. Press F1, open your Mobiglass, select Comlink, the Friends tab, and then click the appropriate landing services. Wait for them to confirm your request, and then close your Mobiglass again with F1. The door or roof will open up, and you'll be able to leave. Gently does it, though. Basic ship controls are space to go up, left control to go down, W to accelerate, S to deaccelerate, or reverse, A strafes left, D strafes right. Press space to take off and then maneuver your ship out of the hangar. Once you have left your hangar, get clear of the area, as ramming people or blocking landing zones can be a criminal offence. Take a second to get to grips with your ship, not just its speed and the controls, but also its size, its shape, and sort of how it feels. Left shift is boost. This gives a boost to your thrust and will regenerate when not in use. Q and E will roll your ship, X is space brake, and very useful. N will toggle your landing gear, and C will toggle your cruise control, allowing your ship to attempt to get to and maintain a set speed, which is shown on the left of your ship HUD, which you can control with the mouse wheel. When your speed marker is in the red section of the gauge, you are above SCM, standard combat maneuvering speeds. It will take you longer to slow down, and you'll find your ship less responsive to turning. If you find yourself in a ship with a VTOL engine, you can change the orientation of the engines by pressing K. L will turn your ship's exterior lights on and off. Your ship will handle differently in atmosphere than it will in space. To have a little fly around, get used to maneuvering your ship. Let's select a mission. You want to be appropriately prepared, equipped, or at least have the right ship for the mission that you pick. For now, we're going to choose a mission more suited to our starter ship. Missions are accessible from the Mobilglass Contracts Manager. The General tab has lawful missions that regularly get updated and will change based on your location. The Personal tab may have less legal missions or ones more personalised to your current situation. For the purposes of being simple and avoiding prison, I recommend looking at the General Missions tab to start with. Delivery, search, and maintenance missions will typically require you to have a ship with cargo space. You can place boxes on the floor inside the Aurora MR if you've got one, and you'll take them to a drop-off point and interact with the delivery terminal there. Service beacon and ECN alert missions can be from a player or an NPC, and will typically have you transporting a player or providing combat assistance. They've also now added medical assist beacons here as well. This will require you to revive a player using either the medical gun, multi-tool attachment, or a med pen. Investigation and retrieval missions can have you trying to find dead bodies of NPCs in caves or derelicts, or locating a black box. These can be quite long and disorientating to new players, but fun to others. Bounty hunter missions first require you to complete a starter mission called Tracker Training Permit Certification. There's a small fee of 500 Alpha UEC cost to take, but upon completion, this will allow you to take bounty hunting missions for very low risk targets. You can get further permits and licenses for hunting higher risk targets later. Mercenary missions are focused on combat. Illegal surveillance missions will require you to scan to try and find and destroy probes. There are FPS clear out and bunker assault missions, defend missions too. Bounty hunting missions are a great place to start in game for a new player, in my opinion. It will help you learn your ship and the scale of the verse, so I recommend doing the Tracker Training Permit certification. Always read a mission description and check the distance. Anything under 1 million kilometers is quite close. Tens of millions is relatively far away. Some missions are going to be relatively difficult for a beginner. If an Alpha UEC reward is pretty large for a mission, it's probably because it's more difficult. You can see any accepted missions and change the track ones in the accepted tab. When you need to travel a long distance, you'll want to quantum travel. Open your Mobilglass and select Skyline. You can double click to zoom in, double right click to zoom out, or you can use the mouse wheel. Find your mission marker, select it, and then set destination. You'll need to be above a certain altitude at the planet you're at before you can quantum travel, so travel out of the atmosphere, then press B to power up your quantum drive and align the marker on the HUD. The drive will spool and calibrate. Once these have both completed, hold B to quantum travel. Your drive will charge up and then you'll jump. You may have to make several quantum jumps based on where your final location is in the game. If you are traveling very long distances, you may have to make a stop for refueling at a station. If you don't have enough fuel for a jump, it will show up on red on the star map. If you power on your quantum drive without having set a destination, you will actually be given multiple location markers to choose from and that you can align with and then quantum travel to. Security forces may request you to stop to perform a scan on you. Stop and listen to them, otherwise you'll get in trouble. Pirates might also attack you during a quantum jump. You'll need to run or deal with them before being able to quantum travel again. When you engage in combat, your ship will passively locate nearby enemies and display them on your radar and HUD. Pointing a reticle at a target will highlight it, but you'll want to lock a target to get combat information on it and be able to accurately fire at it. Pressing T will lock the currently highlighted target. If you don't have anything highlighted, then it will cycle through eligible targets in your view and lock them. Left click fires weapon group 1, right click fires weapon group 2. You'll want to aim the pip the predicted impact point marker that's drawn off the enemy. The aiming in Star Citizen is reasonably forgiving now. The targeting pip changes when the locked target is out of weapon range. Energy weapons will need to recharge every few volleys, which they will do automatically while not in use. Ballistic weapons have extremely limited ammo and will need to be rearmed at a station or landing zone when exhausted. You can cycle fire modes with G from lock, which fires straight forward, auto, which is a light auto aim that will try and track the target for you if you have gimbals, or targ, which aims where your mouse cursor is if you have gimbaled weapons again. I recommend engaging below the red SCM speeds and firing within 1000 to 2000 meters to start with. Different weapons do have different ranges, but smaller weapons are typically meant to be used within around 1200 meters. You can interact with your ship systems while in the cockpit by holding F and left clicking on the appropriate button. You can also use the pin assault in a thought menu or just your hotkeys. Your weapons and systems power can be controlled by the power triangle on your MFD, your multifunction display, or via hotkeys as well. You can put more power to weapons with F5, engines F6, or shields with F7. F8 resets everything to an even split across all systems. This will make those systems operate more efficiently, but having no power in any system can prevent recharging or systems working properly. In larger ships, you're able to have other players manning your guns or managing your systems. If you have missiles, pressing the middle mouse button will put you in missile operator mode, and your ship will automatically try and lock your current locked target with a missile. You can fire a missile with left click, but without a missile lock, the missile will only fire straight forward. The longer you wait for your missile lock, the stronger it will be, and the more likely it will hit the target. H will fire decoys or flares, and J fires noise or chaff. Missiles have varying degrees of resistance to countermeasures, and the more countermeasures you use, the higher the chance for the missile to miss you. You'll get a missile warning and indicator on your HUD if a missile is after you. Getting used to firing off a couple of the more appropriate countermeasure as required is best practice. Try to keep moving while in combat. Change speeds often, and try not to show any flat side of your ship to an opponent. Allocating power to systems at the right time will help too. Watch out for asteroids, they don't discriminate about who crashes into them. As we said earlier, some missions will require you to engage in first-person combat. Once at your mission location, leave your ship and enter where you need to. If this is in space, you'll be able to fly around in the extra vehicular activity mode, or EVA. When entering into an area with gravity, you want to try and orientate yourself correctly and approach slowly, because otherwise you're going to collapse to the floor. When you get gravity, you'll just sort of fall over, possibly taking damage or even dying. The rest plays pretty much like any other FPS game you can think of. 1, 2, and 3 will switch weapons if they're equipped. 0 pulls out your fists for melee. Middle mouse will do a takedown if available, and when you're close enough to a target. T is flashlight, control is crouch, and X is crawl. Tapping R will reload if you have extra magazines equipped. Holding R will holster your weapon or fists. C will get out your medpen if equipped, and pressing left click will use that on yourself. Right click will use it on someone else. Once used magazines and medpens are exhausted, you will need to equip new ones if you want them. You can buy spares from gear stores and keep them in your personal inventory, or at the local inventory there and pick them up later. Some missions and mechanics require you to ping and scan. Your radar will passively locate and track contacts and areas of interest, but you can send out a ping by pressing tab, which will highlight any additional contacts or volumes of space that have weak signatures. You can then toggle scanning mode by pressing V. In this mode, left click will scan whatever you're looking at and give you more specific information about the target. Mouse wheel will set the focus of the scan. If you die, you'll respawn at your default spawn location, or the hospital or clinic you assigned your respawn point to. You can do this by visiting the facility and interacting with the terminal there, and then setting it as your spawn point. You can also do this in an 890 jump or Carrack medical bay. However, instead of dying, you might be in a down state and bleeding out. Someone may come and rescue you. You can hold M to offer a reward by the distress beacon for someone to come and help you, but you can also hold backspace to respawn if you don't want to wait. You lose everything that was on your body when you die, so you will need to remember to re-equip when you respawn, as you won't have a flight suit or helmet on, and you need to breathe. and some areas don't have oxygen or an atmosphere. You can purchase a Medigun, the Paramed medical device, and its green gel ammo from pharmacies at medical facilities as well. The Medigun is much better than Medipens or alternative mobile healing, as these allow you to heal yourself and others and give you a wide range of being able to treat any injury you might have, at least temporarily, until you get to hospital or a clinic. Taking too much damage to a body part will increase the tier of injury there and slowly accrue more damage. The basic function of the Medigun will heal health damage and stop bleeding, but you can use it on yourself as well by equipping it and then pulling it out with 4 and then pointing at yourself with B. You can interact with it from there as well, toggling it into advanced mode, and then click auto if you want to treat your injuries. Watch your blood drug level though, as using this too much will cause you to get intoxicated and eventually overdose. When overdosed, you'll be unconscious until your blood drug level comes down. Resurger will clear your blood drug level quicker and prevent you from passing out from a high BDL. If your ship is lost, too hard to recover or destroyed, or you just want to move it to your current location, you will need to reclaim it from an ASOP terminal. This can take a few minutes, and you can choose to pay an expedited fee to have it quicker. Reclaiming your ship will put it back to its default loadout though, so bear that in mind. If you are stuck and on foot, you can hold backspace to respawn yourself. If you're in the main seat of a ship, backspace will set a self-destruct if available. When you are finished with your mission, you can return to Microtech or a nearby landing zone or station. Each planet has a station in orbit that you can set as a destination. Be careful near space stations. There are turrets around rest stops that will shoot at you if you engage in combat with non-criminals or if you have a criminal rating. As when you had to take off, you'll need to request a landing when you're nearby. Open up your Mobiglass and contact the landing services. They'll assign you a landing pad and that will be marked on your HUD. Toggle your landing gear down and you can manually land, or when you're extremely close to the pad you can hold N and it should auto land you. When landed and still in the pilot seat, you can make use of a station's services to maintain and rearm your ship. Open the Mobiglass and click on the vehicle maintenance services. Your quantum fuel is limited, so make sure you refuel when you can. Smaller rest stops can be found at asteroid clusters, Lagrange points on the map, though not all of these contain stations. Check your skyline map before traveling. At hangars, there are emergency elevators that you can drag players into by interacting with their body. You can also place unconscious players on stretchers or medical beds. Emergency elevators will teleport that player to hospital and potentially save their life. Shops at landing zones and stations can be used to outfit your character and ships. You can see where all of your ships and gear are located in the Knickknacks Mobiglass app. Make sure to wear an undersuit and helmet when going anywhere, as there may be a lack of oxygen, and you'll have them on by default, but you'll lose them if you die and respawn. Too much heat or cold can kill your character, though you'll get a warning and a countdown to your death. There are armors to protect better from more extreme conditions, like the Novikov armor. You'll see your estimated survival time, if applicable, at the bottom of your screen if you're wearing a helmet. Food courts can be found around stations and landing zones, and you'll need to eat and drink to stay alive. You can stow food and drink on your character if you're wearing armor or have a backpack on, and access it again via your personal inventory. You'll need to remove your helmet to consume items though, just don't forget to put it back on afterwards. You can customize your ship with gear that you can purchase at various shops like Center Mass, Dumpers Depot, Platinum Bay. These are all found around landing zones and space stations. This is done via the Vehicle Loadout Manager app on your Mobiglass. Make customizations before you spawn your ship for the changes to actually show up. You cannot currently customize rented ships. A ship must be stored at your location to be customized. You can also buy ships in-game from New Deal at Hurston, Lorville and Astro Armada at ArcCorp Area 18, and the Crusader showroom at Orison. You can rent ships from various spaceports at the rental terminals there. I recommend you aim to earn enough money to buy an Avenger Titan to start with. The Titan will allow you to do more missions and trade cargo much more readily, as well as being a more powerful fighter with more upgrade options. You will keep ships and items purchased in-game until a major reset, which could be many months away. Ships bought with real money will stay on your account between resets. What else is there to do? Teaming up and playing together is a massive part of the game. You can add friends from the main menu or the RSO website if you know the player's handle. If you found a new friend in-game, you can add them from the user list in the com link tab by right-clicking on their name and then selecting send friend request. You can create and join friends in groups either on the main game menu or in game, and then you can share missions with your group. There is a lot of exploration to be done. Caves, planets, moons, outposts, space stations. There's a load of Easter eggs and cool bits to find. Interesting missions which can pop up. There are a few different mission types to try and some more specialist runs from mission givers that will contact you in the personal mission tab. There are opportunities to get rich via trade consoles, in landing zones and stations. You can gather harvestables and sell them. If you have an appropriate ship, you can buy and sell cargo. There are various types of mining by hand, ship or ground vehicle, as well as the ability to refine mined ore at stations with refineries and sell it potentially for more profit. There's a player trading app which will allow you to send Alpha UEC or the prison currency merits to another player, whether they are offline or on a different server. Search for them in the app, but make sure you've got the right person because there are no takesy-backsies. If you wish to explore the dark side of Star Citizen, check out some of the personal missions. The Price of Freedom missions will have you assaulting a ship and performing some investigation work, but could land you in prison. There's a few things like that. There is a whole criminality and fine system. What is legal or illegal depends on the jurisdiction you're in, and you can see more details in the journal of your Moby-Glass. Crimes need to be detected in range of a comma ray, otherwise they're not considered crimes, denoted by the little satellite symbol in the top right of your HUD. However, attacking security forces anywhere is a criminal offence within range of a satellite symbol or not. Some crimes will leave you with just fines, and then you can pay them off at fine and citation payment terminals, which are around landing zones. Failure to pay a fine can lead to more fines and criminal ratings. Criminal ratings can have security forces and even players actively engaging you and turrets shooting at you and preventing you from landing at those locations. If you find yourself in prison, you can use a hand mining tool to gather materials to help reduce your sentence, or you can repair oxygen machines there, basically taking missions that appear there. Work like this will help reduce your sentence time. You can check how long you've got left in the console in the center of the prison. When you've served your time, you can leave via the lifts. Alternatively, you can try and find a way to escape. There's also various limited time events in Star Citizen, like the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, that you can get involved with when they are on. It's always worth taking the Call to Arms quest, if available, in addition to any others, as it gives you extra credits for taking out criminals in addition to everything else. Something worth knowing as well is in Alpha 3.15 they have server crash recovery. If you have a 30k error where your server has crashed, then you will be able to recover your ship with cargo and loadout intact from a ship spawn terminal using the retrieve button. You may have to wait a few minutes before the retrieve button actually shows up. Basically, don't press claim in that situation, wait for it to turn into the retrieve button. One last thing, Star Citizen is an alpha, and as such you will encounter various bugs, some of which will interrupt your gameplay. You can report bugs on the Issue Council, and the Star Citizen devs encourage players to get involved in sharing feedback about the game on their Spectrum forums. Boom! That's it! There's a huge heap of other missions and gameplay going on in Star Citizen, and more in-depth mining, cargo hauling, and combat. You can see these guides broken down on my channel, but please feel free to leave questions in the chat below, and I will encourage others to answer them as well. Please answer each other's questions. It's also worth noting that retrieve button only shows if there's been a server crash, not if you've lost your ship for any other reason. I hope this tutorial was useful. Thank you very much for watching it. Please take care, guys, and I'll see you in the verse. It's November, and that means, yes, you're right, it's NordVPN season. All those delicious Nords are collected together to make the finest VPN that I shill for on my channel. Not only is NordVPN delicious, but it also protects. Check out the links below to get fantastic discounts, or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Do you dream of being at the controls of your spaceship in real life? Well, now you sort of can with Game Glass. It turns touchscreen devices into diegetic controllers for Star Citizen, and you can get the basic software free. Check it out in the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway as well. This time it's for a Mercury Starrunner, a multi-crew ship that will let you do a bit of everything in-game now. Or at least most things. Lots of things in-game now. In the future it might allow you to do smuggling and data running too. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos during November. More details down below. If you'd like to further support the channel, please consider clicking the join or thanks button under my videos, or even becoming a Patreon. You get some cool stuff to show that you're a true supporter of mine and Zin's art, some exclusive polls, ways of shaping the channel, some exclusive videos, all that sort of jazz too. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.